This show is supported by you. Stick around till the ad break to hear more about that. This is Cup of Go for May 29th, 2026. Keep up to date with the important happenings in the Go community in about 20 minutes per week. I'm Shai Ahmad.
And I'm Jonathan Hall.
And I'm back.
You're back.
Back again.
Is it already May 29? It's almost June.
Yes, it's yesterday was like raining buckets in San Jose, and my daughter was like, "When is it going to be summer already?" I was like, Monday.
Yeah.
I've been on vacation, and now I'm back.
That's awesome.
Thanks a lot, Mariah, for covering for me. That was really good. That was a cool
with her. Sounds like I might have convinced her to come to GopherCon.
Ooh, nice.
So if you're going there, you might get to see me and Mariah there.
I'm planning to go, but I might be convinced to.
Oh, you won't be convinced. You've been saying that.
Yeah. when it's on the moon, maybe.
Oh, right. Speaking of conferences,
I joined the Telegram group for GoConf, that Russian conference we spoke about last year. Luckily, my Russian is good enough that I can, differentiate just a random message from an announcement message. And they announced a new GoConf in Moscow. It's going to be September 11th. So they're going to have another Go conference in Russia, in Moscow. So if that's relevant for you, go check it out. It's all the previous talks are on YouTube. So I assume it's going to be this time as well. And, the call for papers is still open, so you can submit it. The site is obviously in Russian.
I assume that means all talks are in Russian as well.
Yeah, seems like a fully Russian thing.
Yeah. It's
happening in Moscow and everything. And yeah, September 11th.
Very cool.
I do want to say, this is not the show is very not political. We're not supporting Russia or supporting Ukraine or anything like that. There's a Go conference there. I assume there are gophers there. They might even listen to the show. If you're Russian and you're you don't know about conferences, this is our way of informing you. And, zero politics related.
Yes.
And it does look really good. There's going to be 300 people. The pictures from last year seem like it's a really fun, sort of a serious, capital C conference, which is really cool.
Cool. Let's talk about some proposals. What do you say?
Yeah, I wanna get back into the swing of things. I haven't tracked the performance tracker in almost a month.
Yeah. So a couple proposals. One that was just accepted, and one we'll talk about in a moment that's a new one that kind of excites me. But the accepted one, this is one that's probably not going to affect most of our listeners on a day-to-day basis, but it's kind of an important one. It's about the Go debug flags. Do you know what those are, Shai? Have you ever used one?
I think so. You say Go debug equals 1 or something, and then it turns on some deep. I'm sure I used it once because I remember it.
So Go debug is used for, I don't think I've ever used it, but it's used for certain features that are maybe kind of experimental or temporary, or maybe we need some backward compatibility. So I'm pretty sure there was a Go debug flag related to the range variable thing that was fixed in, what was it, Go 121. Variables were reused, and now they're not. If you need the old behavior, I think you can toggle that, or maybe you could with a Go debug flag. I don't know exactly. Clearly, I don't use these very often. But the point of this issue that has been accepted, the proposal, is nobody else really keeps track of these. There's a whole bunch of old, stale Go debug flags sitting around, and there has never been a formal policy on what to do with them when they're not needed anymore. So that has changed. There is now a formal policy, and they go through 4 classes of debug flags. Those are simply no longer used anymore, irrelevant. The ones that are still in use but have a documented safe to remove after date, those that are that exist but are not documented with a date, and those that are documented explicitly with a permanent, this is forever thing.
Okay, so what you're saying is this is not, now I understand the proposal correctly, this is not about removing Go debug. Go debug can have a certain set of values, and this is about, okay, once we're done with one of these debug values, we should get rid of it.
Right. So this is basically the Go issue tracker version of why are all these A/B tests still sitting around in production 16 years after we stopped using them?
Man, decommissioning feature flags is one of the best feelings. You just end up deleting a whole lot of code, whatever. But I love how pragmatic it is. Like, yeah, sometimes these debug feature flags are going to be here forever, and let's just like they are permanent. How are we going to track all of these debug flags then? Because this is already accepted.
So there is an official list of Go debug flags, and it's on the go.dev/doc/go debug. So if you ever want to know what they all do and which versions they're added and supported in, just head on over there and you can find the full current list. And so the proposal now affects basically the deprecation of and the life cycle of deprecating Go debug flags that aren't needed anymore. Yeah.
So this will also end up probably deleting a lot of flags and just simplifying the internal Go code.
I think that's the goal. Yeah.
Nice. I'm so down.
and maybe even more important than like cleaning up the code is just now everybody has an expectation of what's going to happen with this, and that is that basically each Go debug flag is guaranteed to last at least 2 years. That's 4 release cycles. So if you're using it in production, you have at least the idea that I can be certain that this is going to stick around for at least 2 years, and I don't have to revisit this every Go release to see if my feature flag was or my Go debug flag was deleted.
Got it. Looking at the debug flags themselves, do you look at like interesting corners of the runtime? I feel
there are some interesting things there on that list for sure.
So it's a bit random, like HTML meta content URL escape and traceback labels for the runtime preprof and crypto custom rand and decorate mappings. And it's a bit of an everything salad.
Yes.
But cool. This sounds like a great improvement. It sounds like the sort of thing that would be hard to track, but worth the effort, I guess. And what's the second proposal you mentioned?
Yeah, the second one, this proposal was actually created back in 2021, but it was just recently added to the backlog, which means it's getting serious attention right now. And it's a new version of a previous proposal for Go 2 that was opened in 2017. That one's been closed because Go 2, whatever. But I like this proposal. Have you ever had to create a type just so you could add an interface method to a function?
Those were many words. Have I ever had?
So let's give it a concrete example. You've used HTTP handlers, I imagine, in Go.
Yes, all the time.
Yes, and you might be familiar with the fact that the HTTP handler type is just a function type that has a method on it that calls the function itself.
Yes.
Isn't that annoying?
Yes. Now I understand what you're saying.
So the proposal is, what if we could just wrap that function itself in the type declaration, and then poof, it satisfies the interface rather than having to create this extra type just to add a method that calls the type itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like you add a separate type, but the only thing you care about is the function. Like, why do you need a separate type, basically?
Right.
And you need a separate type as the receiver. Right.
You need a separate type so that the function that matches the method satisfies the interface. So the proposal is let's extend the language so that you can just treat that function literal as the interface, as satisfying the interface, so that HTTP handler func that we've all seen could just go away. You could just call HTTP handler and pass your function. It could be a function literal. It could be an anonymous function, a closure, whatever, and it would just satisfy the interface. So that's the proposal. Of course, this is the Go community, and we're nitpickers. There's a lot of nitpicking going on, although it looks like it's headed the right direction. By that I mean headed towards likely acceptance. But some of the nitpicking is like, does this break the interface definitions? If you have an interface with a single method on it, does this add the possibility that adding another method on the interface would break your contract, and so on and so forth? But I don't see any deal breakers here from my reading of it. I think this is likely to go through, but we'll see.
And once this goes through, if I understand it correctly, you could, if you see a type that's only used to define the receiver, so the method lines up with the interface, like you said, you could just delete it, right? So Go modernize the Go modernizer, like Go Fix, would be able to automatically fix it? Or am I?
I believe that's correct. Yeah. So I think the net HTTP package, for example, could add the little Go Fix syntax there that says just call this other thing instead. And then if you run Go Fix, poof, all your calls to http.handler func get shortened to http.handler.
Cool. And I mean, it makes the code a little more concise, but it does do the thing that Go doesn't super love, which is 2 ways to do the same thing. Because you would still be able to do the old way, right?
You could. And of course, legacy code would. And if you ever have an interface with 2 or more methods, you have to do the old way because there's an ambiguity then, right? This only works for single method interfaces. But one of the points made in the proposal, which I think is a good one, is that this actually makes your code easier to read. Aside from dropping the word func from your call, you don't have this indirection of like, what is this function I'm passing? What is this other type I'm defining? What does it do? You have to go look that up. It just makes it more clear, exactly in line, especially with a closure or something. You don't have to figure out what's going on over there in that other type because it's all defined right there at your single call site.
I'm wondering, why did this pick back up? Like this was starting to, this made the rounds in 2021.
Yeah, that's when it started.
Why was this like placed on hold? Oh, it was waiting for a prototype. No, I don't understand like the life cycle of this. Why did this come back to life?
It's a good question. So back in December 27, there was a comment, what needs to be done to move this proposal forward? And then crickets. Meanwhile, there were a few things that referenced it, but they're all closed PRs and so on. And 3 weeks ago, someone started the discussion again. 2 days ago, it was added to the active column. So I don't know. Somehow I got the attention of the Go team in the last 3 weeks, apparently, and they decided they had the bandwidth to discuss it. So I'm happy to hear that.
Okay, cool. I wonder, like, this is the sort of thing that at this point, I know this is like bad form to say, but like, maybe my agent care more about it than me.
Fewer tokens for your agent to worry about this way.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe. Final thing I wanted to talk about today, at least in the news section, is a good blog post that I think it will take us a little while to dig through, called The Top 10 Go Error Handling Commandments. This is from Preslav Rashev. And when we both read that name while working through the script for this episode, we're like, wait, this sounds familiar. Did we have this person on the show or no? And we didn't have him on the show, at least not yet. But we did talk about a couple of blog posts he wrote in the past. And when I say the past, I mean the distant past. Episode 23, July 7th, 2023, and episode 42, December 1st, 2023. So eons ago, we talked about great blog post that Preslav has written. Seems to be way into error handling. He wrote a few already, alongside Redwan, which we did have on the show.
Hey, I'm Redwan. I'm currently working at Volt, which is kind of like a European sister concern of DoorDash in the US. So yeah, I've been doing open source for a long time and working here for around like 2 years. And I primarily work with Go.
They have a lot of opinions about it, and he sort of compiled it into what he calls the 10 commandments for Go error handling. And I wanted to like work through them and see if you agree. Because I'm always sort of worried about hard and fast rules, like never do a thing, right?
Yeah.
But most of these seem pretty reasonable.
Okay.
The first one, thou shall not ignore errors.
Agree or disagree? Is that it? Is it just agree or disagree?
No, it's like he has the explanation. It's basically don't ignore errors. Treat that branch as part of the program, not a ceremony to be skipped.
So in general, I agree, although there are exceptions. And his description here says, if a call can fail, that's the exception. Some calls can't fail, or they can't fail in your context. If you know that, and it's obvious from reading the code, then I'm okay to skip the error. It's often not obvious from context, in which case I think it's safer to return the error so that it doesn't look like a bug, even if you know, like if you've proven that it can't fail I prefer to pretend that it can for the sake of any future readers of the code. So
I don't know. There are a few that I always ignore. And if you look at my like Golang CI lint config, there's like, what errors are not allowed to be skipped, and there's a whole list of like exceptions there.
So I guess there are some that I skip. Like, so I'll often skip io.write type of errors, especially if it's a standard error.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or a deferred close or rollback. I will skip those errors. So yeah, there are exceptions. That I hadn't thought of. That's true.
So already not 100% clear. Yeah. That's what I sort of want to highlight about this blog post. It has good general advice. Mm-hmm. But you said a while ago that the Gophers are nitpickers. Yeah, you can find counterexamples to any one of these. So I don't want to walk through every single one because that's going to take like a lot of time. But there are a few ones that I think are correct. Let's jump to like number 4. Thou shalt make errors tell a story through actions. Add context that said what the code was trying to do when it failed. Because errors don't have a stack trace with them, basically. I think what Preslav is saying is write in your error, like what happened, like placing order or reserving stock or connection refused. And then when you unwrap the whole error chain, it'll be like placing order number 2, reserving stock number 4, connection refused.
So this is one that I probably most disagree with of the ones in this list.
Oh.
But there's some nuance to my disagreement. So I guess that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
I think there are 2 types of errors that you have to consider when considering this rule. And one is user-facing errors, where I think this advice applies pretty well. And the other is non-user-facing errors, the ones that your program consumes. And there, so I guess there's actually 3 consumers. There's the user, something that actually bubbles out to the HTTP response and tells the user, sorry, that cat.jpg isn't found. That sort of thing. This makes perfect sense. If it's something that ends up in a log that an admin reads, there you actually want stack traces. So you should add an error type to your application that includes stack traces, which is better than this for that purpose. And the third is something program itself consumes, and there you probably want Sentinel errors, and you don't need all this nonsense.
What do you mean when you say Sentinel errors?
So something like io.eof or maybe an error in your package that says thing not found or access denied, something like that. Because later in your at a higher level in your program stack, you want to see if what happened was file not found, do this. And you don't need a story then. You just need a true or false sort of situation.
So what you're saying is this is true for like the user-facing errors, but not the other 2 types?
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do think that if you follow this rule, though, as sort of a general rule, what's the worst case that's going to happen? You're going to end up with, you do have that story through actions. When you say an admin looks at it through in a log, it's still just a human reading it. Like having a super, super long stack trace you have to dig through, not always as useful. And especially if the line numbers don't line up exactly for some reason, or, it's an old version or whatever. Having a hint about like, it was here. I like function names and stuff because that usually is indicative enough.
They should add function names to stack traces.
What do you mean they?
I'm being facetious because, of course, function names are in stack traces.
Yeah, but again, I'm just saying, like normally.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The stack trace is big. It has pointers as well. It has like a lot of information.
Yeah, let me be clear. I'm not saying that the stack trace should be the only thing in your error, but I'm saying it serves the main purpose of where did this error come from, which is part of the goal here. It's not the entire goal. I also annotate my errors with all sorts of other information to tell me what's going on. And I should make a plug here. Since we're on the topic of errors, I just released a course with boot.dev, what we talked about on the show a few months ago, that talks all about this, all about logging and error handling and all that stuff. So you should definitely check that out. And if you use my code CUPOGO when you sign up, you will save 25% off your first year or your first month if you just do the monthly plan. So a link to that in the show notes, boot.dev, CUPOGO, to learn more about my particular opinions about logging and error handling.
How cool. Where can I find it? Where do I put the code? What do I do?
Boot.dev. Head over to boot.dev. The course is called Learn Logging and Observability.
Cool.
You don't just pay for that course. You get all the courses when you pay.
Nice.
Which includes a course that Mariah's working on right now, or will soon include it. She told me after the recording last week.
Learn logging and observability in Go. New by Jonathan Hall.
That's
cool. 16 hours of content. You know what? I'm now wondering how many hours of content is Kappa Go.
Ooh.
Would you be better served just listening to every single episode top to bottom or doing this course?
Let's just say we have hundreds of hours of content. That's probably not far from the truth.
Ooh, I don't know. How many episodes do we have? A lot. A lot at this point. 158. This is 159. So no, it's about like 70
hundreds
hours.
Would be a stretch, but we probably each episode isn't an hour, but some have gone over. So
in this blog post about error handling, there is one I really, really agree with. Thou shall not log and return an error.
Oh, yes.
You start with one, you justify why in this particular case you do want to log because it's useful for whatever. And before you know it, your whole code is just like, if error, log error, return error. As if Go error handling wasn't verbose enough. You're adding like another, and then you have to pass the logger, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This is such good advice. This is really, really good advice.
The only semi-legitimate reason I know of to do that, and I say semi because it's not really legitimate when you think about it, but it seems legitimate, is I have more context for my log at the lower level than I do at the higher level. The answer to that is put it in your error. Put that context in your error message. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Put it in your error. And the only reason not to put it in your error would be if you don't want to decorate your errors with extra content that you don't want a human user to see. But there are ways around that too. And I talk about them in the course that I just mentioned. So if you actually want some more detail on that, use code CuppaGo and save 25%.
Generally, I think the blog post is really good. And also, I love that Preslav highlighted his sources in the beginning. He's like, I look at Redwan and look at Go Proverbs and some blog posts in the past. It's like a sort of just a best of list of all these sources. Preslav, if you're listening, we really like your blog. Come on the show, talk to us. Or if you know him, just like let him know. We love his stuff.
Yeah, I think I agree, at least with the heart of every one of these. Of course, I've already mentioned a few exceptions, but what good is a rule if there aren't exceptions to it?
Yeah, I mean, the important part is it's good to have these like list of general rules and then have a suspicious eye about everything. Like, same with clean code. You read clean code. It's like never use abbreviations. Generally, a good advice, but you can write SQL. It's fine. You don't have to.
You don't have to write structured query language every time.
Yeah,
I'm going to start doing structured query language just to piss people off.
To waste tokens for all the tokens you've saved from the previous proposal. All right. Let's jump to a quick ad break, and then we have a short lightning round for you. As mentioned at the top of the show, this show is supported by you, our listeners, and beautiful Patreons. We want to thank Tom Vandenberg that just became a Gopher member, the higher tier. Yeah, Patreon is a way when you subscribe or whatever, you can drop us a message. And Tom let us know that he has, he's coming from a PHP background and he has trouble convincing the company to introduce Golang, which is something I'm sure a lot of the listeners can sympathize with. I've done it once. I've tried to add Orca, push the team to use more Go. It actually worked at the end. I want to talk about it, but I wanted to hear some, take a page out of Mariah's book and like ask you. Yeah, if you faced this in the past, maybe share something for Tom in the Slack channel. Then we'll talk about it at some future episode, or we'll just forget, which also might happen. Sorry, Tom. But I am writing it down. Like, we shouldn't forget it. Jonathan does have a habit of like deleting stuff from the tracker once it's been up for a bit too long.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll write like, don't delete.
I like to do that in Jira too, by the way. Anything that's too old, just delete it.
Linear has a setting for like auto close issues after inactivity.
Yeah.
And I always feel so guilty, like creating an issue that was really a good idea and then not getting to it. And then the linear being like silently taking out the issue to the, behind the shed and shooting it in the head.
I really like that idea, except on low volume open source projects where legitimate bug reports just get auto closed because the maintainer didn't fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm ranting now. Let's go on.
Yes. So this show is supported by you. You can, Tom. Thank you, Tom. You can support us directly financially via Patreon. That's the best way to support the show, paying for hosting fees and editing fees, etc., etc. You can find the link to that and our Gopher Slack channel where you can answer Tom's question, and the swag store and everything else on cupago.dev. That is cupago.dev. You can also email us at news@cupago.dev. Other ways to support the show, including sharing it with friends or co-workers or colleagues or your mom.
Definitely your mom.
We want to talk to your mom. That's I owe some money from. No, I'm just kidding.
Why do you want to talk to her then? You should be avoiding her.
Word of mouth is the only way we spread this show. You can either directly share just like this episode or an episode that's been useful to you with someone else, or leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, write about us in your blog or whatever. Facebook. I don't know. Anybody still using Facebook?
Ooh.
Definitely not me. We are planning to record a normal episode next week. So we should be good back to normally scheduled programming, whatever. Week after that, though, we might have a little surprise for y'all. We can't, it's under wraps. We can't really talk about it.
Coming to your house. Oh, I spilled the beans.
No. Coming to your mom's house. No. All right, enough. Lightning round time.
Let's do it.
Lightning round.
A few episodes ago, you mentioned Miki Tabeka's talk from Ardan Labs. He had a practical Go development with AI agents workshop that he streamed.
Did you attend?
Miki, of course, infamously known as Cupago's first guest and also one of the leaders of the Israeli Go community, also Python. Just a great dude in general. Miki, you're a great dude. So the whole video is up and it has really practical advice about like how to turn your AI development process from autocomplete-ish and a search engine-ish to like how to use it as an agent and why Go specifically shines with agentic development workflows. So there's a whole lecture about that. How to use AgentsMD, skills. I'm like way into this stuff because I'm in an AI security startup. So to me, not a ton of this was new. But, there's great advice here, like notify me when you're waiting, which is something a lot of people like to do. In my office, people also like to put funny sound clips when Claude is done, which is pretty funny. Use an LSP instead of greps. How to use Resume, how to use Git work trees, how to use SpecKit, like a lot of these agentic things that can be useful. And this is obviously by Ardan Labs, which we also, friends of the show, definitely. There is a 2-day workshop, which is like, fully training sessions and per session, which is paid. You can go to ardanlabs.com.
Was this a sales pitch?
No. I'm not.
No, I don't mean from you. I mean from the webinar.
It's useful within of its own, but then at the end, it's like an upsell to the full workshop.
So it's not a bait and switch.
No.
It was legitimately useful. That's good.
Yeah. I watched some parts of it. But it's just, if you want, you can buy the workshop to go more in depth. Honestly, just ask Claude instead. Just like build the practical Go development with agents workshop for me and then do it with Claude. But if you want to hang out more with Miki with his Ardan Labs shirt, that's the way to do it.
And you should.
If you can, for sure. What's your lightning round thing?
Yeah, so Jesus Espino has written an 8-part blog post or series called Understanding the Go Runtime. And it just completed a couple weeks ago. So this has been going on since February. It's building up. But if you're curious about how the Go runtime works and you like cute gophers and nice illustrations, check out this blog post. So I'll just give you the titles of each of the 8 sections because that'll give you a good overview of what's in here. Number 1, the bootstrap. Number 2, the memory allocator. 3, the scheduler, the garbage collector, the system monitor. I don't even know what that is because I haven't read this yet. The network polar, slices, maps, and channels. And the last section, the one just finished, the select statement.
I just want to note that this there is going to be a next blog post. So this is a series that's ongoing. Yeah. And
yeah, the next one is going to be about stack traces, which you should be adding to your errors.
And you can learn about that in my course. I just want to highlight that Jesus is working at Ona, that AI background agent company that we also had on the show. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm currently the head of engineering at a company called Ona, where we are building an AI platform using Go. I also am very, very active to the best of my ability in the Go community. I run a website called bitesizego.com, where I try and teach people.
It's been a while, but yes, I do remember that.
It's all like coming together.
It's almost like the Go community isn't as big as you might imagine or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep crossing paths with people.
I still find myself surprised by how often I run across names that I'm like, oh, this person's been on the show, or I've looked at something in the show before. But yeah, episode 126, we talked with Matt Boyle of Ona. And I wonder, what do I gain from understanding the Go runtime? Because I don't write in the runtime, and usually this stuff doesn't affect me. But I'm a big proponent of always learning how things work under the hood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm worried about with these sorts of blog posts, and let me know what you think, is that they become outdated. The garbage collector one, for example. Let's say that it was written a couple of years ago. It wouldn't include the whole green tea thing.
That's a legitimate thing. And like the new map, what was it? In a couple of versions ago, they changed
Swiss maps.
Swiss maps. Yeah. So is that what it was? Yeah, whatever it's called. So yeah, things like that do change. It's a legitimate concern. I still think it's useful to read it to understand the basic concepts. So even if you have an outdated specific understanding of the garbage collector, you now understand how garbage collection as a concept works, and that's still valuable.
Yeah. I recommend, if you're in a company that's adopting Go, which is just what Tom was talking about, doing this as a weekly book club. That's a great, you know what I mean? Everybody reads the blog post ahead of time, and then you buy some beers and pizza and talk about it. And then you listen to Cup of Go. Perfect weekly cadence.
Make it a weekly beer drinking Cup of Go listening meeting.
Yeah.
If you drink
you can
beer,
get the cups on our swag store.
If you drink beer while you listen to our show, let us know.
This show, drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
All right. That wraps it up for the episode this week. I'm happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you back.
Again. See y'all next week. Program exited. Program exited. Goodbye.